heart, you have MAAT, which is a deity comprised of the three largest man-eating deities on the planet, the crocodile, the hippo, and the lion. Now, if your heart does not balance out with this feather, and you are not as light as a feather upon what we call death, which is by definition the permanent termination of the biological function, which is a living organism, right? And the scales is tipped, then MAAT is going to eat your soul for all eternity, and you're not allowed to pass into the afterlife with the ancestors, right? But if it weighs, MAAT turns the other cheek. And this is why in the Bible, this is where in the Bible they got the saying turn the other cheek from. Here you see MAAT turning the other cheek. And I want to let everybody know everything in my wall, everything on this wall is straight off the walls of Egypt. So all of this is very accurate. Now this is Tahal. This is the spiritual deity that I personally channel. This is the knowledge, the keeper of the knowledge of the universe. Okay, this is where courtrooms get the concept of being a stenographer from. Now you see Tahal with the scribe, okay? Because the pen and the paper is the medium in which the mind expresses itself. So Tahal is documenting all of your confessions and all of your sins and all of your deeds. So you have what is called the Akashic Records, which is located at your 8th chakra, which is about a half a foot to a foot, and no, excuse me, about a half a foot to a foot above your crown chakra. So your Akashic Records is about right here, and everything that you do is being electromagnetically recorded within the universe. And interdimensional beings watch each and everything you do. Spirit guides watch each and everything you do, so you really don't get away with shit. I want to let you know that. Now, with that being said, Tahal, okay? After transcribing your sins and your deeds, if you make it through MAAT and you make it through the halls of my God, okay? And you got the judges up there and you got the witnesses up there bearing witness to this proceeding in this trial, because yes, our ancestors created the whole proceeding of court. You see Heru now, right? Who I have tattooed on my right arm for masculinity. Heru is symbolic to your higher self, your heart chakra. Now, Heru is where the word hero comes from. He's depicted as a falcon, because falcons are not only the fastest birds in the air, they're extremely accurate. So you got to be accurate with the facts. Now, not only do you got to be accurate with the facts, a falcon is also a spiritual deity to the higher, symbolizing the higher self, because it's one of the only birds that can fly above a storm. So a falcon spiritually symbolizes the fact that you can't control every environment that you're in, but you can always control your own mind and weather the storms of life. So, your higher self, right? Righteousness leads you into the afterlife or the underworld. Now here you have the 4 deities, aka the 4 canopic jars, coming out of the flower of life, the lotus flowers, which you see I have tattooed here. 1.618 Fibonacci sequence. Everything in the universe is comprised of this mathematical ratio. I broke that down in my university. I won't go into it too much now. But then you have Isis or Aset, who is the mother of Horus. You see Horus sitting on the lap of his mother, because the lap of your mother is the throne. Wherever your mother sits comfortably is the kingdom, and your father has the garnered land for your mother to sit there. So the lap of the heir to the throne is the mother, because your DNA is passed down matrilineal. So with that being said, this is why it's important for females, especially black women, to get their minds right, because they not even, I don't know what y'all doing today. Y'all just giving the throne away. But anyway, Isis or Aset, the divine mother, the divine feminine, is symbolized as a vulture, because a vulture is one of the only birds who loves its young and its offspring so much that if it can't find food when it goes out to hunt, it'll peck its own leg off and feed it to its food. So feed it to its young. So that is how fierce and how loving a mother is supposed to be over her children. Now, then you have Osiris, right? And then you hear the story of Aset, after finding Osiris scattered, putting him back together and putting his phallus back on. That means putting his manhood back on, submitting to his manhood, not trying to bust his windows out and be ratchet, but respect his rule and submit to his manhood. That's why the phallus was golden. That's why it's important. Now, with that being said, you see Osiris right here with the crooked flail, and he has the wizard hat on, or the hat of Osir, okay, or the hat of wizard. This is the hat that the Pope stole and that the Pope jacks, which really comes from our ancestors, and it's called the hat of the wise man. Wisdom. The land of Osiris in Egypt is called the land of wizard.